and welcome to the Spring Plush Simon Says stamp release. They have lots of really fun dies and felt coming out. Today I'm going to be using the Plush Big-Eared Bunny and the Plush Springtime Bunny. So the dies come on these little magnetic strips, which is super handy to keep all the pieces parts together. I went ahead and die cut my pieces of felt, trying to keep this video kind of short since I'm working crazy mad overtime, but also it's a blog hop and there's plenty of other people to see. So I used the Plush Big Ear Bunny, and I decided I wanted him to be from the back. And this is an older stamp set. Simon Says Stamp released this last spring. It's called Easter Blessings, and I am making multiples of this for my son, my goddaughter, and my nieces and nephews. I just thought that they thought it would be super fun to have the fuzzy little bunny on there, and instead of, there is a round die that's included for his little cotton tail, but I thought the little heart would be super cute. So, I'm just cleaning my stamps off there so I could switch over to the blessings and stamp that. And I'm using Simon Says Stamp black ink. And yeah, super simple card because I am making so many of them. Now, I'm using double-sided tape here to adhere my bunny down. I will tell you, I probably should have put this on the back of my felt before I die cut it. It would have cut right through. And I did cut my felt. I cut it with my Cuttlebug, which is like beat up. I recently was gifted with a Big Shot, which is wonderful. I just haven't busted out of the box yet because, like I said, crazy mad overtime. So I'm just doing it by hand, and this worked really, really well for me as far as adhering the felt down to the card, and then the heart onto. So felt on felt worked well, and felt to paper also worked well. And then if you're into making the little plushes, all of these dies come with holes around them, so you could sew them and stuff them, or use them as little pockets, or whatever you wanted to do with them. They're super cute, and the felt cuts like so easy. But if you're not a felt person, I wanted to show you another way to use it, because they are still dies. So you can also use them with paper. So this is the Plush Springtime Bunny, and in here it has these little leaves, and then also the button, small flower, and big button. That one I showed you right there is his ear, and I actually was going to use it to make a flower. So these are like the pieces parts I had already cut out from the paper. I just picked out a couple of different colors from Simon Says Stamp that I liked and thought would work well together for spring, and then I started laying out my flower. Now, like I said, I didn't end up using this, but I wanted you to see there are different ways to use your dies. So even though it's a bunny, it's also a flower. And then I was playing around with a couple of different centers, 2 buttons, a button and a small flower, just a small flower by itself. So there's just a couple of different ideas that you can use, and you know, it's supposed to be bunny ears, but it could totally be flower petals. I ended up using the small leaves and the small flower from that bunny die set, and just again, I picked another stamp set that I really like the sentiments from. This is again an older one from Simon Says Stamp, and don't mind my stained stamps, they're well loved. So this is Just Because You're Awesome, and I love a script font with a bolder font. I'm using the same black Simon Says Stamp ink. I'm going to stamp that down in the lower third of my card, and then I'm going to start building my flowers around it. Right now I'm just laying them down so I can figure out where I want them all to go. I always do this, and then when I'm done, I take a picture, so that way when I go to glue them down, I can just bring up my phone if anything shifts or moves to make sure that they all go back in a place where I like them. It's just something that works really well for me when I'm working with a lot of little finicky pieces. So yeah, just laying those down, and then I used Tombow Mono Multi Glue to adhere them to my card base. This is like that's my go-to glue, because it's super easy, and I love that when it dries, it's still tacky. So if you wanted to, you know, turn them all over, put the top on multi glue on the back, and then give them a minute to dry. You could move them around, they would be repositionable. I didn't do that. I just laid them all out, took the photo, and then built them back up from there. These do have button holes that are cut in the center, but I didn't want to use those, so I decided I was going to pull out some sequins from Pretty Pink Posh and Neat and Tangled, and that's what I was going to use as my flower centers. So there would be lots of shimmer. I started doing this originally with my fingertips. It got to be quite the pain in the butt. So I ended up switching to using the back of a paintbrush to push them down. That way they weren't sticking to my fingers and it wasn't, it didn't take forever. So that's them all down together. Add on that last little sequin, push it down with my paintbrush, and I'm good to go. Fun little spring card. I decided I wanted to add some clear Wink of Stella to the flowers. I could have done this before, but I don't think it needs to be perfect. Just a little bit of shimmer to give them a little bit of something. You could also add like distressing to the sides of them to give them a little bit of shading, or use your Copic markers. I thought that they were pretty just being die cut out of the paper, so that's what I went with. But those are both of the cards, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the hop, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye!